Welcome back to Fantasy Baseball Cafe's weekly pitching preview. I am Jason Gilbo. As always, we will be running through two start pitchers, waiver wire ads, a pitcher profile, which is Carlos Martinez this week, coming off that great start. Take a look at the bullpens, and then always wrap it up with a daunting injury report, which Steven Strasburg highlights this week. No shortage of aces going for two starts this week. You got the King Felix going, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Garrett Cole, who's been a stud this season, and then you got guys like Chris Archer and Garrett Richards. So no shortage there. A lot of guys you can fire away, even the two Dodgers aces going at Coors, but no worries on them. I mean, Zach Greinke's tied for the lead in ERA right now, and Kershaw is Kershaw, so start him up as usual. My favorite Tier 2 option is Andrew Cashner. Just been really unlucky with getting run support in the wins. He's got a nice 3 ERA and 23% strikeout rate, which is up from last season. And a lot of people were worried coming into the season about him because his strikeout rate was down, his velocity was down. But he's pitched really good this season. And he has two really solid matchups this week. He takes on the Mets, who are bottom 3 in offense against right-handed pitching, and then he heads to Cincinnati, which you usually don't like pitchers pitching in Cincinnati, but Reds are 19th in offense, and they haven't looked that great. Risky start this week, who's making two, is Alex Wood. At Arizona, they are top 5 offense against left-handed pitching, with guys like A.J. Pollock, Mark Trumbo, Paul Goldschmidt. Not a great matchup for Alex Wood, and right-handed bats are hitting over 300 against him. His swinging strike rate is down 3% from his career average, just not missing many bats. His strikeout rate took a pretty big drop this season, so not a like to add there. If you're looking for a guy, Mike Fiers is starting later in the week, and he takes on Minnesota. He's a great streaming option for late in the week. I think he's fairly owned, moderately owned, I guess, around the leagues. I've seen up and down depending on the sites. Minnesota has a 22% strikeout rate and just an 87 weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitching. So, I mean, really, the Twins are one of the hottest teams in baseball, but they're doing it against lefties. They're not as great against right-handed pitching. You know, he's got that 27% strikeout rate, but he doesn't go deep in the games. His last 4 starts, he's only gone 5 to 6 innings in each, but he's allowed 2 earned runs apiece. It's not exciting, but it is consistent for a nice floor. But he does have a higher upside against the Twins. If you're looking for some waiver wire ads, I mentioned Tanner Roark last week. I broke him down in the profile. He made 2 quality starts in his first trip back to the starting rotation. So he just allowed 3 earned runs over the 2 starts. Came away with a win. He should have came away with 2, but lacked run support in the second start. So, I mean, he held the Cubs and the Reds in check. Another one is Eduardo Rodriguez, the young lefty from Boston. Had a great debut as the other one, Chichi Gonzalez, Texas. He matched it later on in the series. But he worked into the 8th, 7 strikeouts, scoreless innings. He's got a great fastball. He works really quick, which I like. And he looked like he came in and he had a plan. He worked the fastball a lot through the first time through the lineup, and then worked in the off speed throughout the second and third time, and he worked everything out nicely. He just has a slider, changeup, fastball. And he'll take on Minnesota on Wednesday, which, like I said, they crush left-handed pitching, so it'll definitely be a tough task for him here, but I think it'll be a great mark to see how good he can be. And I think if he pitches well, Joe Kelly will be out the door, and you'll find Eduardo Rodriguez in the starting lineup, or in the starting rotation. You'll definitely need them to shake it up. If you were chasing some saves, Sean Tolson out of Texas, he's just getting it done right now. Natali Feliz is on the DL, and he was looking to head on his way out anyway. But Tolson, I mean, he shut the door 6 times since May 20th. Has not faltered at all, not even had a close start where he was, it was nerve-wracking to watch. But I mean, he's 30 strikeouts through 23 innings. He's getting the job done. He's definitely your top option for saves on the waiver wire right now. All right, then take a look at Carlos Martinez, 72% owned in ESPN, just 66% in Yahoo. So he's definitely out there in some of your leagues here. And I mean, the guy's he's got a 3.13 ERA. He's 5-2. He's top 20 in the league in strikeout percentage at 25.4%. 22 strikeouts and 0 earned runs over his last 3 starts. And just before that, he had 2 really bad starts where he allowed 14 in 2 starts before that. And then people dropped him. He wasn't pitching bad before. So I don't know. You guys have a short leash out there, but a lot of people dropped him, and then the rate has come back up, but it was down about 50% earlier. So he's got a really nice mid-90s fastball. He just needs to locate it better because the fastball, the hitters are hitting 308 off of it this season. But he's working his off speed, he's working his cutter, and everything else hitters can't touch right now. So if he's available in your league, he's definitely a guy you want to pick up. He still has relief pitcher eligibility, so you can leave him in there if you want to. A guy who you need to grab. I mean, the Cardinals are going to rely on him heavily. And starting off with the injury report, I talked a little about Johnny Cueto. He's expected to face the Phillies and the Cubs, so 2 chances for great fantasy numbers. No tear, so that's good news for a guy who's trade bait this over the next 2 months. But a guy who's fresh on the DL is Steven Strasburg, and he's been really awful this season, so you know what? It may be a good thing for fantasy owners right now because you don't have to worry about starting him and hoping he has that great start, that bounce back, or even having him on your bench and then he ends up doing that. So he had neck tightness and some back issues. Those are the 2 reasons that lands him on there. But he has not pitched more than 5 innings in May. He's got a 6.55 ERA. So he's just been really bad this season. And guys have just a terrific line drive rate off Strasburg, so it's not like he's getting cheaply hit. But he's going to be out for 15 days, and then they're going to take a reevaluation of him, which hopefully he bounces back because you just want him to be healthy and pitch well. I mean, we know what this guy's capable of. A couple other guys, Scott Feldman, he's going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks with knee surgery. So Lance McCullers is going to stay in the rotation as he should. I mean, he's been really good. Allowed 4 earned runs through 3 starts with 18 strikeouts. Just another one of these Houston young guys who are stepping up. Sean Doolittle just made his way back from the DL, but now he's heading back on there with a shoulder strain. I mean, you don't have a lot of hope for these guys who are trying to pitch through tears and arm injuries. So hopefully you didn't let go of Tyler Clippard. He's still gonna be a part of that save situation out there in Oakland. And then you got 2 guys in the Bay Area, Matt Cain and Jake Peavy, who are due back in June. Cain late June. Jake Peavy's on his way through a rehab start, so he'll be back pretty shortly. And good news for those DL stashers out there. Jose Fernandez is scheduled to throw 45 pitches in the spring training game, which was today. So check back here on the injury report, which will be up on the site. I'll give you a further in-depth look there. And then the guy who's been consistently on the injury report for the last couple of weeks is Justin Verlander. And he made his rehab start but did not look good. He threw 79 pitches through 2 2/3 for the Mud Hens, and he gave up 3 runs. His command was really off. Did not look sharp. So it's definitely it's not a setback injury-wise, but it is a setback as to him possibly making another 1 to 2 more rehab starts. So it's going to push him into late June, early July, which we were expecting him back in mid-June. Good news, Masahiro Tanaka is going to be activated, but like I said, I just think he's a ticking time bomb. I mean, if you have him, you're going to start him, but not a guy I'm high on for staying healthy throughout the rest of the year. Pretty quiet week in the bullpens, no changes, but there are guys who are on a rocky situation right now, which is Fernando Rodney and Jake Allen from the Indians and Mariners. 2 guys, Carson Smith is definitely worth a pickup because I believe Rodney's just one blown start or blown save away, and Zach McAllister's been their best guy out of the bullpen. But I mean, this guy's a former starter, but he looks like he could get some save opportunities. But like I said, Carson Smith is the one guy, if he's in the waitings for some saves. So if you're in a deeper league or AL only, you definitely want to go out and grab him. That'll wrap it up here at the pitching preview. I'm Jason Gilbo, and be back with us next week.